Hey, what's up? We are doing live different than normal. I am streaming from my cell phone and I'm going to be doing my comments on my laptop because I do have a public Wi-Fi connection, but we're streaming off my cellular data. Fingers crossed we do okay here. Okay, guys, let me pull up my chat on my computer. Crossed we do okay here. Okay, guys, let me. Oh, we got some people on here. Good morning. Good morning. Where's my chat window? This one's going to be a bit confusing because I'm doing it on two different devices. So let's see how this stuff works. All right. I think we're pretty good here. We are set up and ready to rock. Hey. All right, guys, we're good. Woo! Good morning, everybody. Got some people from Kamloops on here, Texas. Good morning, you guys. So, hopefully this turns out pretty clear. My cell phone data says that I have a damn good connection, so it's probably going to chew the crap out of my my cell phone plan. We don't got good cell phone plans here in Canada. Super awesome, you guys. We are on our summer trip. You guys are on a little bit of a delay when it comes to videos because prior to me leaving, I got super excited on my first couple of days of my trip and I filmed my face off, leaving a bit of a gap between you guys and me right now, which has been kind of nice actually. So here, oh, you can tell I'm on that summer vacation vibe, you know what I mean? So we've been exploring heading north in BC and it's been nice, but I'm not really quite sure right now if I'm into this small town vibe. It's weird because the farther I head north, the smaller the towns are going to get. It's going to be more in the woods. Like there's some bigger towns up that way, but there's like one, I think, Prince George, I think would probably be the biggest up the area that I'm going, and that ain't that big. So, but it's funny because where I am now, I am not feeling this small town vibe. I would love to go to the city right now. That's not going to happen when I'm heading north. There ain't no heading to no cities for me. So I'm going to have to probably go through a bit of a mental process to calm myself down. Because when I get in that mindset that I want to be in a city and I'm not near it, you have to kind of work yourself through it. Where at least down in the city, you can go to the backcountry and still drive an hour back down to the city. Well, now I'm probably about 5 hours from the city. Oh man, you guys, sorry, I've been chatting, missing all your guys' comments here. Vanlife Vegeta Paint, thanks for the sticker, super cool. Typical question, do I ever travel to the US? No. I am on a mission to tour the crap out of Canada until I get sick of it. And besides, right now, we can't come down to the US. All borders are blocked, including one that goes into Alaska, which is the area that I'm heading up to. But yeah, everything is completely shut down. Fort St. James, Leg Ham. I was just looking at you guys on the map today, actually. I was looking at the map of the direction that I'm going, and I'm kind of unsure where I'm going to go. Skylar, have I heard from Jasper? Yeah, me and Jasper talked the other day. Whereas Joseph has, Joseph makes another appearance in tomorrow's video, and that's it. You guys are a little bit behind me right now. He's back in Vancouver. He's got work stuff and family things that he has to take care of. Thai guy, when am I coming to Vancouver Island again? Probably Christmas time. I am going to be gone away from there. I don't think I'll be back until probably Christmas. I'll be in Vancouver for November, December, January, February, March. So probably 5 months around the Christmas season, and then we'll be bouncing back out on the road again. hold on a second. Marlene asks, I know you're iffy about getting a fridge, but was wondering why you don't get a plug-in cooler. That's the same thing. A plug-in cooler is a fridge. Because, yeah, it's a fridge. No matter how you put it, a fridge in a van is literally just a plug-in cooler. I don't have like an opinion on a negative side for a fridge. I've just never felt the dire need for one because when I started, I couldn't afford one. And I know a lot of people on here always say, well, you can buy yourself one of those $200 ones. Yeah, I know people that have bought them and then they've broken in a year and they can't get the compressors fixed. Now that's $200 lost. So to spend, like if I were to buy like an Airbnb or a Dometic, in Canada, you're looking at $1,200, $1,500 for the fridge, $1,200, just say. That's a lot of chunk of change. So in my van life so far, I've just been using a cooler because the one I got cost me $80 at a pawn shop. Super affordable, super cheap, and it does the trick. So it just haven't felt the need to invest the $1,000 investment in a good quality fridge. And until that time comes, I won't be adding one. If I do add one, it will be from a Canadian company called Unique. They're sold at Costco and they're made in Ontario. They have the Danfoss compressor inside, which is the good compressor. That's what I hear from everybody. You don't want to buy a fridge or AKA a plug-in cooler inside of your van unless it has the Danfoss compressor, because that's the good one. That's the reliable one. Those ones will last you years and years and years ahead, and you can get them fixed. They're fixable. Some of the ones you get from China that are just super cheap, once they're done, they're done. And good luck contacting the China company to get any parts to fix or replace those ones. That's why they always say choose the Danfoss compressor fridges in your van. But if I do get one, I'll be getting the one from Costco because I've heard tons of good things about it. I know lots of van lifers that have it, and they're cheaper. They're only like $800 for a 65 liter, I think that's 65 liter cooler fridge, which is pretty great. Jody, do I plan on getting some beefy tires on my van soon? Yes, I do. Now I see my van sitting out there in the back country with all the trees behind me and all the stuff done to it. And I'm like, damn, all I'm missing is some big chunky tires and some pretty looking rims. And this thing is going to be a beast. But that's a pretty chunky little investment that I don't know if I'm ready to make quite yet. Someone's like, go to Alaska. I can't. Alaska's in the USA and that crosses a border and the borders are closed. Oh, grumpy old Van, thanks for the super chat, man. Thanks for the tacos. Van Life Rocks, thank you too. Much appreciated. Thank you for thank you for inspiring my YouTube channel, Van Life Journey. Oh, wicked. I love it when people take the opportunity to share their videos or start an Instagram or something like that to share their journey, which is super cool. Man, am I ever glad I don't do my comments on my cell phone, because there's no way I could read that. I'd be like this in the camera all the time. You'd be like, Chrome, get out of my face. I'm like, sorry, trying to read the comments on my phone. So right now I got the comments popped up nice and big on my laptop. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Mandy, thank you so much for the love. Very much appreciated. Hi, am I going to get a winch on my van? Yes, I would like to, but those are all very pricey conversions because a winch would need a bumper or a way to mount the winch on the front. That's getting a little... We'll see. Let's see how my van goes after like this summer, and because I've owned my van now, it'll be 3 years I've had this thing. On August 16th, this coming August 16th, I'll have had it for 3 years. no mechanical problems except for an spark plug coil, which was super affordable. That's it. And then I broke a leaf spring, but that was on me, right? But otherwise, mechanically, one little coil that made my van sputter, that was it. Was a $100 and some odd fix or whatever it was, and I was out the door. So if the van continues this way, maybe I might make some investments like that. But I know I'm sure at some point to my journey, things are going to go sideways. So I don't know if I want to, you know, buy an $800 winch and buy a $800 bumper system to mount the winch to it, or, you know, so yeah, those things I'm gonna have to think out a bit. Oh, Happy Camper Kits, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for the love. Beers and Bones, good morning. Good morning to you, buddy. Thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that. Randolph, thanks for the love too. That's pretty cool of you. You guys are great. Yeah, Andy's a good dude. He's a good dude. Any plans on redoing my ceiling? No. Sometimes I would like to, but you see, because all I did was spray glued fabric up here. So every time I touch it, now I'm putting my oils for my fingers and dirt on it, and it's not as bright as it was when I first put it in. So my only fear is if I were to respray another layer on it, because technically this was sprayed to a piece of insulation, but it had a super smooth surface to it, so it had the fabric had something to kind of tack onto nicely. I'm scared that if I put spray glue over top of this fabric and then try to put another fabric over it, that it may not stick well and it might separate. So that's my only fear. Doing my roof, I think if I were to ever properly redo my roof, I would do my walls up here, which would mean ripping cabinets out of here just to do the roof right. But if I were to do it, I'd do it this way because it's permanent. It's up there, I can wipe it down, I can clean it, it's easy, it's done. I don't think I would ever do a fabric roof on any van in my future. I just did it because it was cheap and it was affordable, and it kind of got me, you know, it looked good. Otherwise, it was just a foil ceiling. You know, food on my shirt. I was in there picking at it. Hold on. Someone's a question. Chrome, tell us one thing that bugs the shit out of you about van life that we might not already know. Honestly, nothing bugs the shit out of me. There's no negative parts about this lifestyle. There's nothing that I have found that's been an annoyance yet. Let me think about that one for a second. Nothing. Like everything, all my life needs are always met. I always seem to find a place to get water. I always seem to find all the little necessities that I need. There always seems to be a bathroom close, or I just use my bag and I throw the bag out. But no, I mean, the low roof is fine. Like I'm sitting up on my bed. This is be like me sitting on my office desk or my studio desk in my apartment, or sitting on my couch. Here, I just prop my pillows up and pull my desk is on this right now, but I pull my desk out of here, put my laptop up, and I have my couch. So no, there's nothing in van life going on 3 years as of when did I move to the van? September 11th, I think it was, coming up. It'll be 3 years. And there's been nothing that's been downright, you know, like bad or frustrating or annoying or something that I would warn people about. It's been really, really, really good and very, very welcomed from people around. Like a lot of people would think there'd be a frown down on you, but it's been always a positive experience. Marlene, thank you so much for the IPAs. I love that. I love it when you guys know the beers I like to drink. So if you don't know, it's an IPA beer, any kind, I'll try it all, or a hazy pale ale. I don't do drinks that are like clear that you can see through, like beers. Unless it's a super hot day, I don't mind a good lager. But oh yeah, I like my IPAs. Hey, don't talk about beer. It's too early in the morning. I know I'm not gonna crack one. Don't even ask. It's a good idea though. It's a damn good idea. Say hi to little Cruz. I don't see him. Mr. Cruzy Bear is in the front seat, passed out, sleeping. I'm sure he'll wake up sooner or later and come visit us. I like this one. Crazy Boy Radio. How can I send you $1,000? Send me $1,000. PayPal. Lots of ways to do that. Do you wish you had a high top van? Of course I do. Of course, having a high top would be great, and my next van I ever purchase will have a high top, that's for sure. But right now, this thing makes me happy. And with all the changes that I've made to the van recently with the ladder and the upgraded roof rack system, makes me even more happy. And I think if you ever get to a point in your van life where the short roof van that you had or you have is starting to lose its sparkle, it's cheaper for you to do changes to your van you already own than it is to buy a $50,000 brand new high top van from the car dealership or a used one for 40K. You know what I mean? So for me, I was thinking about a new van, not because I needed it, but because I needed something. And at those points in times, you got to think about what you have, what you own. The inside of my van is perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect. It looks good. It's beautiful. I'm super proud of this damn thing. Thank you, Andy from Happy Camper Kits, for all this amazing stuff. But then there's sometimes you're like, wow, maybe a high top would be nice. And then you start looking online for them. And then you got to start thinking that, hey, I own this. This is mine. I would rather spend money to buy a ladder or do a roof rack system and buy new rims for your vehicle, whatever it takes to make your van have that sparkle again for you. For me, it was never the inside. It was always the outside. I'm like, man, I want to do something. I want to put a decal on the side. But that's the customization part of me. I've always had that in me where I loved, customizing things. You know what I mean? But no, I love my low top, and I'm probably going to be in this low top for years to come. There's no need for me to change as of right now, that's for sure. Maria, thank you so much for the coffee. I really appreciate that. We had some people join YouTube memberships. Van Life with Gina Payne, thank you. I get these notifications in my live thing. Do you guys see those too? I don't know if that pops up for me, if that pops up for the whole world to see. How do you pronounce that? Fida? Fed? I don't know. Heda? Thanks for joining YouTube memberships. Pretty cool. I wish that did the same thing for my Patreon supporters, but because Patreon isn't linked with YouTube, but YouTube has their own cool Patreon style thing. I appreciate you guys. I love seeing that. I love seeing those families grow. It means a lot. Bye, Patty. Have a good day, Patty. Chrome, would you describe your solar system and what you wish it had to do is? That doesn't make any sense. What you wish it add to is. What your wish it add to is? George, you need your coffee. Get a coffee this morning and retype that. I'll talk about my solar system though, absolutely. Sierra, thank you so much for the treats for CRUZ. Cruzy, someone gave you treats, buddy. Let's see if you can see him. He's passed on the front seat. Can you see him over there? Cruzy. He stops breathing for a second. He's like, what? My solar system that's in my van. Okay, so I don't know about this technical side of things. It's never been a big thing for me. That's why you don't hear me diving deep into a lot of the techie stuff on my channel, because honestly, it's not very interesting to me. So my solar system was provided to me by Renogy. I don't know if you guys have ever looked up solar. You guys know Renogy is a pretty big name in the business. But Renogy reached out to me, and they've been wanting to put solar on my van for a long time. They've been wanting to put solar on my van when I never wanted solar. And I kept telling them, no, guys, I'm not interested. So the system I got was super, super simple. Because out here in BC, we're not like in like Arizona where they get sunshine all year round. We only get about 6-7 months of like we get about 3 or 4 months of really good sun. The rest of it, it's kind of spotty. And then there's all winter where it's pretty much like maybe 10-15% of an average solar capacity. So alternator charging was important, which means the first thing I would need is obviously batteries to hold the energy that it's producing. But the first thing I would need is a DC to DC charge controller, which means when the alternator sends power back, it goes into the DC to DC converter, then that goes into your batteries, allowing your batteries to charge with the proper energy flow needed from your alternator, right? Or you can buy the little isolator, it's cheaper, but it also doesn't regulate the energy that goes into the batteries properly, where that's where the DC to DC charge controller comes in. So right there, I got a box about that big that's needed. Then after that, if I need to plug in laptops or anything powered wise, I'd need another box about the same size with an inverter. Now I got 2 big boxes. Then after that, I would need my solar charge controller. So when my solar's on my roof, it comes down to the charge controller box, which is sometimes can be pretty chunky too. So I got these 3 big units, and I didn't want it. So when Renogy started to talk to me about it, and I noticed this on their website. Right there. That one, hold on guys, get a better view. That one little tiny box, this one, that does just about everything I needed. That box is the DC to DC charge controller. That box is also the solar charge controller. It's not fancy like those other ones. If I were to buy them individually, they're more fancy. It's got no screen displays on it, no nothing. It's got lights that show me, yep, battery's in good state. Yep, solar's coming in. Oh, and here's something cool. Hold on, I'm gonna plug my phone in. See this light here that's flashing over there? The far one? It's got that little flash on it. That's telling me right now that my inside batteries are full, completely full. Like my 2 deep cycle batteries in my van are full. When that light starts to flash, it's telling me that it's sending solar energy to my starter battery to make sure it's full. So it also reads the voltage of the starting battery, making my entire system function perfectly. And that's it. I have 300 watts of solar. That little box, which if you look it up, the links to those are in the description, but it's called something. I don't know what it's called. It's a Renogy DC to DC and MPPT controller in one box. Yeah, that's all I got. And a 700 watt inverter. It's a very basic system. And I like it basic. I like it that it doesn't have any fancy screens or anything. Who needs the headache and the ruckus? I'm okay with that. It works. I think those boxes are like $250 or $300 or something like that. Hold on, guys. I missed some. How do you pronounce that? Iggy Threadwood? Iggy Threadwood? I feel like I'm in school trying to pronounce things. Thank you so damn much for the love. I very much appreciated that. The sticker is super rad too. That's the first time anybody's ever used that sticker. I love it. Thank you. The reader, thank you so much for the love too, man. Oh, that's so great. Stuff like that really helps out, you guys. Like, keeps these gas tanks full. That's for damn sure. Did that answer your question about my solar? I know I'm not the place to come for solar and techie information. I like to keep things pretty simple around here. As much as I like some fancy or pretty things in my life, like I do enjoy that side of things. But when it comes to the actual van itself, my electrical system is very basic. Like I have very small power requirements. My laptop is my biggest power requirement. And I learned something the other day. So on these MacBook Pros, because they're USB-C powered on the side, at night, only when the laptop is shut off, it doesn't work this other way, I can plug my USB-C into the USB on my wall and charge my laptop via 12 volt. You know what that means? That means way less power consumption from losing power out of my inverter to plug it into the wall. So that, the 12 volt power, hold on. The 12 volt power from the USB socket does not charge the laptop while it's on. It's just not enough power to feed its needs. So now it's plugged into the wall plug and the inverter's on, meaning that I'm losing power converting all this stuff through the inverter. So, which is awesome. So for the most part, every night now, I plug in my laptop to 12 volt power and I get up in the morning because the MacBooks are pretty good. Once this thing is at full charge, it stops taking power, which is great. So I plug in at night, wake up every morning, boom, laptop full with less power. I didn't know you could do this. I just discovered this like a month ago. I went online, I'm like, hold on a second. If it's USB-C in, can I plug it on a regular 5 amp USB thing? And yeah, you can, just not when you're using it. So if you have a MacBook, guys, way to save a ton of power, because those inverters take a lot of power to run. Like that's the fastest way to just chew up your battery hours of use, is just leave your inverter on. So my inverter stays off all the time until I actually need it for something. Like right now the inverter's on because my laptop's only at 49%. So CTV, thank you so much for the super chat. Rich, thank you so much too, really appreciated. I'm missing everybody's questions. I'm so sorry. Viking Van Man, how much was my cargo carrier? Those cargo carriers on hitchweb.com are about 700 bucks. They're not cheap, that's for sure. Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna push something on my phone. I hope I don't wreck anything. So yeah, those cargo carriers are they're definitely not cheap. And I looked around a lot before I decided to do my roof. So let me explain how the roof thing worked. So when I first bought those two, you guys seen the metal ones I had on the back? I paid 200 bucks for them. They were garbage. That's where coming down and buying a cheap product just to get by sometimes is not worth it. So then I went online, looked up the Rhino Rack bars. The reason why I was looking at the Rhino Rack bars is because the awning that my friend gave me was the Rhino Rack one. I'm like, well, it would make sense. Rhino Rack awning mounted to a Rhino Rack bar. It'll probably mount nice and easy. So when I was looking them up, this Canadian company came up, Hitchweb. And I didn't know they were a Canadian company. I just went on there, seen it, and I ordered the 2-bar system, and it came to me within like 2 days. It was fast. And when the package came, it was marked that it came from here, like local out here. And I was like, hold on a second. So I emailed the company and I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, you guys local? The guy's like, yeah. He goes, we have a few distribution centers, but we're based out of Manitoba, which is right smack dab in the middle of Canada. So we got talking and I'm like, hey guys, do you guys want to maybe work together with me and finish off my roof and work out a deal with me, maybe give my audience a discount code? And they were like, yeah, let's work with you. So I got that at a smoking deal. So that's one thing good about having a YouTube channel. We get to trade services. They get a bit of advertising, I get a bit of a break on the product or free product depending on the company. So yeah, but so we worked together with those guys. So the roof rack didn't cost me full price. I got a smoking good deal on it. But they are a little bit pricey. But you know what? Honestly, for a $700 box on the roof, that opened up like $1,000 or $2,000 worth of space inside. Does that make sense? That's a pretty amazing upgrade. That's like building an addition to your home. Imagine having a house needing to build an addition. It's going to cost you more than $700 to build an addition. Here, not so much. Just get a couple roof bars across, bang on the addition, done. Extra storage. I am glad I have it. It has definitely changed my van in a pretty huge way. And I never thought before that I would ever build upwards. I never thought I would ever put anything on my roof. That was something that I was like, I don't know. It kind of makes my van obvious. That doesn't make a difference, man. It's pretty great. Bob's Adventure. Remember to hit the thumbs up. And go check out Bob's Adventures channel too while you guys are kicking around. Johnny says, what's up from New Zealand? I tried to send stickers to New Zealand and they came back. I guess they shut down taking postal stuff. That was weird. I get the sticker back and it says, sorry, New Zealand is not accepting mail at this time. I'm like, what? Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. Pretty cool. I think I already thanked you. Maybe I didn't. Reese says, Bella Kula, pondered it. I pondered it. Very much pondered it. We'll see though. I'm just wandering on this trip. I don't want to really plan anything. I just want to kind of go with the flow and drive when I want to drive and stay when I want to stay. And I kind of want to because life for me on YouTube gets pretty hectic because I'm always thinking about the channel. I'm always go here, film this, go here, film that, run here, do this, trying to always continue to grab and gather content. So it's been business on the brain. And I want to try to take this trip and still maintain the content, but try to remove the business off the brain for a couple of months and just wander. You know what I mean? So because this is all a business for me. This is how I earn my living. This is how I am affording to do the things that I do. And and it's starting to get rewarding. I'm starting to get money back in for once. It took a long time to get my channel stable enough that I'm okay, this is a legitimate business now. And it's finally hitting the point now where things are starting to feel good. I've got money in the bank. I've got enough that if something catastrophic were to happen to my transmission, I could get it covered no problem without stressing or worrying about it, which is amazing. It took a long time, man, a lot of hard work. So I was trying to take this trip and treat it more like a vacation. Do you know what I mean? Try to anyway, even though I'm still editing my face off and still filming every day, but try to remove the whole thought of gather content out of my mind and just wander and film my day. And I know sometimes to you guys, it seems like, oh, cool, just taking us along. But yeah, we think about these things sometimes. We got to make sure that we're always got the business side taken care of. So I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if this is going to turn out to be maybe 25% vacation. I'd be stoked with that. Could use one though. I could definitely use. It's one of those things where I think wintertime comes around this year. I might find somebody local in Vancouver to watch CRUZ for a week. But I think it's time that I literally, hopefully by Christmas they'll allow you to fly. I could use a week away in Mexico. I really could honestly use a week of doing nothing, just nothing. But I think that's coming. I think a real vacation's coming, and I think the only way I'm going to be able to take a real vacation is to leave my van behind. I'd like to take CRUZ to Mexico with me, but I think it's coming. I've been doing this stuff now for, it'll be 3 years on September 4th. September 4th, I uploaded my very first video. So, man, going away to I don't know, to Mexico for a week or something. It'd be pretty damn great. Wilderness River, for one, I love that name. That's pretty rad. Thank you so much for the love. Thanks, Chrome. Got the fan connected. Pretty cool. So, Wilderness River. I think this is the email. I'm pretty sure. They got one of those Sirocco fans from Caframo. They're a Canadian company. Great fan, by the way. They were concerned or worried about or trying to figure out how to connect that to their Jackery battery, because the back of this doesn't have a plug on it. It's got your positive and your negative. It's meant to be hardwired into your system. So on a fan like that, if you want to connect it to a portable battery that, we'll use this for example, if you want to connect it to a cigarette lighter plug, all you got to do is buy the cigarette lighter plug from Amazon, and it's got the positive negative cables at the back. You connect the positive negative cables on that, and bang, you got a fan. Simple as that, right? If you don't want to fuss with hard wiring it into a fused system and stuff in your van, you can go that way, because the back of this plug has a fuse on it. You just got to make sure the appropriate fuse is in there and you're good to go. Pretty straightforward and simple. I get a lot of those emails sometimes with people like, hey Chrome, do you know how to do this? I'm like, honestly guys, it's pretty simple. It's weird because I think what happens with a lot of people, maybe not so much in the Wilderness Rivers scenario, but they overthink things. They make things so complex when if you look down at the basics of it, it's pretty simple. Yeah. Iris, thank you so much, Iris. Thank you for being such an inspiration. Your videos have become my daily morning routine. Stay weird, stay awesome. Iris, thank you. And that puts pressure on me. Oh, it's funny because I get emails like that from people all the time. It's like, oh, you're my morning routine. I'm like, great. Now I got to be there every morning. I try to be. I enjoy the grind of my YouTube channel very much. In the last week, I've gotten emails from 2 other YouTubers, and both of them have asked me. One of them asked me about my workflow, how I manage my workflow, and how do I, because I guess the girl was like, look, I'm struggling on putting up 1 or 2 videos per week, and it's your channel, and I'm like, how is this guy doing 7 a week? I don't get it. Like, how is he functioning? And so she asked me, she's like, how do you manage it? She's trying to do 2 and she's struggling. And then I had somebody else message me who has quite a growing channel. Her channel is growing quite fast right now. And she messaged me, she's like, hey, how are you handling all this stuff? How do you deal with comments, and how do you deal with all the emails and the social media stuff and make videos? And the honest part about it is I love the grind. I love the constant pressure. I've always been that work ethic kind of guy. You know what I mean? I've been no stranger to social media either. Being a club DJ my whole life, I'm no stranger to this constant messaging, constant emails, constant, this and, like before it was like I had the day job, plus I DJ'd 4 to 5 nights a week, plus I uploaded DJ mixes and produced a radio show that was sold to 27 radio stations across Canada every week. I had to have that radio show ready for Thursday. It was a 3-hour-long electronic music show. I did that plus DJing 4 nights a week, plus having the day job. So I've been no shortage of grinding my whole life, no shortage of it. So that's where YouTube for me is like, okay, now I got one thing to deal with, YouTube. Let's produce a video just about every day and then try my best to keep up with all my social media stuff. Sometimes I'm a little late on replies. Hey, whatever, man. If it takes me 3 weeks to get back to you, so be it. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really, really hard to maintain everything. And I would honestly love to see this channel keep growing, because I would love to employ my daughter. I would love to have my daughter, maybe work an hour a day. Like if I can get her $100 a week, $400 a month, or $500 a month in money for her, like an hour a day would help my channel out a lot. Like a lot. And just having an extra eye or an extra person out there to help me with emails, or to weed through some of the emails that I get that are just, like time wasters. I get lots of that. So she could go through and just answer some of my generic stuff. That would be my plan in the future, if this thing still keeps growing. Fingers crossed. It would be kind of nice, and it'd be nice to have the daughter around the channel a little bit too, which would be kind of great. I talked to her about it before I left. She said she'd definitely be interested in it for sure. But for her, I mean, I would love somebody to take over my social media. For her to take a screenshot of a video that went up that day, write a little tag and post it. Boom! How awesome would that be? Something I don't gotta think about. That'd be pretty great. Oh, Wendy Lee, thank you so much. I love that sticker you sent. Pretty cool. Appreciate the love. I get these questions a lot. Chrome, how in this lifestyle? No different. Well, a little bit different. Being a club DJ is a little different. There was no romance a part of the club DJ stuff. If you met a girl at a club, there was nothing romantic about it. Let me tell you, I've been a career DJ my whole life, and romance from a nightclub girl, you can call it romance if you want, but that ain't romance, just telling you. Yeah, in the van, there's no different. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people say, well, now you live in a van, now what are you gonna do? Like, girls aren't gonna be attracted to you. Yeah, they are. There's no difference between me living in this versus me living in a house, except for with a lot of the people that walk by the van, or a lot of the girls that have come by the van to say, hey, hi, or ask questions. The difference is that I'm doing something different than the average dude they've ever met. You know what I mean? The average guy they meet has rent or a mortgage and a massive truck payment and works like 6 days a week and just like, you know, or is in a poor position in their life. And then they pop by my van, they meet me. You know what I mean? Or they meet other van lifers. I know van lifers who have no problems with girls. There's girls on a constant rotation with them. But I think it's because we attract, there's something about people that live in vans. We've owned our, I suppose I said a bad word, I'm trying to maintain my, we own our stuff, you know what I mean? We fully own it. Like, we're confident about it. We've taken a risk in life that got us here. Taking that risk builds confidence. Like, 'cause as soon as you have the ability to drop the norm, it takes confidence to make a life change like that. And that life change builds confidence right here. And that confidence from the outside is very sexy for a lot of people. A lot of people see it going, damn, that person's living their life. They want to be a part of it. So there's no shortage of that. So I think if you live in a vehicle, you're not going to have any problems meeting girls or meeting boys for that matter. Boys, if you're a girl living in a van, just so you know, boys might be a bit more intimidated by you because, okay, we all know boys don't like girls. In their minds, they might like it, but we all know most boys don't like girls who have confidence and own their shit. Do you know what I'm saying? They own that stuff. That's them. Guys always seem to always go for the girls that they overpower. You know what I mean? Or I myself, I'm attracted to that rock solid, confident girl that doesn't need me. That's the one I'm attracted to. I don't want the little weak one that's down here that's always looking up and needing something. Forget it. I want the one that's right here that just, she owns it. So I think the difference is that girls get attracted to the guy side of things because it's a sign of like they're together. They got their thing and they're not scared of owning their life. But on the girl side of it, some guys can be intimidated by that because that girl's taking a risk. That girl's strong. She's confident. She's risky. She's awesome. You know what I mean? I think because I've noticed that with some of the van life girls I've met. I've met girls that'll pull up beside me in a beautiful Sprinter. She gets out and she's like, I'm like, damn. She's not like, damn. She's like, excuse me, old man, can you move? But I'm like, damn, what up, girl? But she owns it and she walks with more confidence. She has a bigger smile. There's something about her. And I think it's because she's taking that risk and owning whatever she has in her life as her own. So yeah, no shortage of meeting other people. Other vanners are rad people, let me tell you. Super rad people. Once you get into a group of vanners, it's just a different feeling, you know what I mean? Like everybody's got this, I don't know, there's a different vibe from someone who's just super confident because they just made a massive life change to that super chill hippie vibe of people that just don't care. Just like, yo, dude, it's all good. Like they've just like mellowed right into it. They're like they started as this rock hard old marshmallow, and then van life warmed them up, and they just kind of melted over everything. Like, yeah, it's all good, man. I meet lots of those too as well. Van life definitely opens up your circle for sure. Does that make sense about the men and the girl thing? I don't know. That's just my point of view. I've always noticed that guys are intimidated by strong, confident girls that own everything. Not meaning own everything like thing, but they own themselves. They're confident with themselves. Kim, thanks for the love. Anna says, I'm glad to hear your attitude towards confident women. Confident women scare dudes, man. Let me tell you. Most men are like, I want a strong, confident, independent woman. Then when they get one, they don't know how to handle her. They're like, she's told me what to do. They just don't know how to wrap their head around it. And I like that part because use my ex-wife, for example. She was like 110 pounds and one strong, confident little girl that would scare the crap out of you. Don't ever make that little curly-haired thing mad. She would freak out. She was a parole officer. Let's put it that way. My ex-wife is a parole officer. And being 110 pounds, pretty little curly-haired parole officer, parolee guys, I'd be scared of the crap out of her. I was married to her, and I was scared of her. But that comes with just confidence. You know what I mean? She knew who she was, and that's the beautiful thing. Seaweed, do I have habits I want to get rid of? Yeah, of course I do. I have late night eating habits I would love to get rid of. I do have a tendency of eating a lot at night. Hold on. Yeah, that'll be my worst thing. Like last night, I'm in bed, and all I could think about was reaching over and frying up some garlic bread while I was eating cookies that I made. I've been making cookies. Those videos are coming. I've been making cookies on my cast iron pan. But I'm in my bed eating cookies, and when I was done eating cookies, I was like, well, maybe I'll make some garlic bread. And I'm like, it's not at night, dude. Go to bed. Yeah. Man, I'm missing everybody's comments. This is like a regular thing. If you guys are new to being on one of my live streams, missing people's questions, it's impossible. Especially because I'm a big talker, so when someone asks me a question, I could babble about it for 10 minutes, and then I go back down and there's like another 100 comments that I missed. So I try my hardest to make a list of all these good ones that are worthy of talking about, and I'll put them in a Q&A, like a Q&A video. I try. David, thank you so much for that, David. How hard are the brakes and the door latches to fix? Hold on a second. How hard are the brakes and the door latch to fix on your van? There's an 06 near me for $1,400. I need the brakes and the driver's side door latch doesn't work. Brakes are easy. My suggestion for brakes is do them yourself, or go on to whatever you guys have. Like everybody is different. I say Craigslist because Craigslist is big in Vancouver, but Craigslist, Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, if they have services on them, and find a front yard or a backyard mechanic. The reason why I say front yard mechanic, because I used a mechanic one day. He's like, I'm not a backyard mechanic, I'm a front yard one. Pull your car in my front yard. Like, awesome. But find someone that'll do it, because I know I did the brakes on my van. I did the back brakes, cost me $60, super cheap. The front brakes on my Ford Econoline are a lot more expensive because the front brakes, they're just not a brake pad and a rotor. The rotor has the wheel bearings and stuff in it. So the rotor for the front are more costly to buy. But otherwise, it's unbolting some bolts, pulling them apart, putting the new parts back on. Pretty simple. As for the door latch, YouTube it. And honestly, if brakes and a door latch is your deal breaker for buying a van, then I mean, honestly, guys, those are just petty fixes. You know what I mean? Just I will pick it up. If anything, just climb in the side door every time you need to go in. I do that a lot. I'll come in, I'll get my groceries in my side door, put my groceries in the house. Then I'll go through the house into the front of the van and drive. I don't like throw them in the house, walk around the house and get in the front. I'm already in the house, just so I climb in the front seat. But yeah, those things would be pretty cheap to fix, man. Your door latch things might be some finicky parts on the inside. There might even just be a little cable that's attached to it that's not attached. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I just know that my back brakes and stuff cost me $60. And if that mechanic was still around, he would have did my front brakes for $60 too. You got to buy the parts though, obviously. David, thanks again for the super chat. Thanks for the awesome inspiration of videos. Super cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Carrie, that's pretty cool. Carrie bought a van today, and today they're putting the bed in it. That's so exciting. I'll never forget those beginning stages, you guys. Like those are moments in life that'll. Your first night sleeping in the van was like where my world flipped upside down. It's where my world became what it is today. I'll never forget those moments. Super exciting. Van Loppy, don't bust your ass. Put some kind of traction on those ladders. My ladders are powder coated, meaning that they're textured. There is plenty of grip on those ladders. If you were to spray paint them, they would have been just slippery, shiny metal. But because it's powder coated, it's kind of got a sandy, dusty sort of texture on it. It's got lots of grip. There's no need for me to wreck the ladder with putting some traction strips or anything like that on it. They're really, really good. That's the plus side about using a textured powder coat. But yeah, if I would have spray painted it with a shiny paint, I would have definitely been putting something on it because I would have fallen off it already. But yeah, I go up on there in the rain, man. It's good the way it is. All right, I'm gonna go back and grab some questions here. Was I born and raised in Vancouver? I was born and raised in the suburbs of Vancouver. So I was born in Abbotsford, BC, and I was raised in Abbotsford and Mission, BC most of my childhood. My younger years, I was in Abbotsford, BC, and then we moved to Mission throughout high school. Then after that, I was like, bye. And then I left the whole valley and headed out to live my life. But yeah, I've been raised in the Vancouver area. So technically the valley is about an hour outside of Vancouver. That's still considered the greater Vancouver area. Vanquish, I keep a jar of animal crackers by my bed. Don't judge me. Awesome. That's the problem. I could never keep a jar of animal crackers. I would eat a jar of animal crackers beside my bed if it was there every night. I'm bad for that. Like, even when I buy a bag of chips, you buy those big bags of chips, not the little tiny individual ones, but you buy the big ones, the big Dorito ones. I open up that big bag of Doritos and eat it like it was meant for one person. They're not, by the way. Someone told me that. I'm like, I eat a whole bag of those. They're like, you know, those aren't meant for one person or not meant for one sitting anyway. I'm like, I do all the time. Don't judge me. And my late night eating's pretty bad. And it's, I've been doing it a lot, and I'm sure you guys have noticed I've put on some weight over these last few years, and it's my late night eating. Because I'm just as active as I was before, if not more, and it's me sitting in the van at night, just like stuff in my face. Go figure. Way to go, Chrome. But the rest of my day, I actually eat pretty good. I ate a lot of salads, I ate a lot of veggie wraps. You've seen the veggie burger I made the other day. I eat pretty decent. And then nighttime comes along and all that good eating goes right out the door. Like there's been many nights I'll be eating Milk Duds and watching TV. Milk Duds are so good though. I think Milk Duds are a food group. They should be. Just saying. Do I get indigestion from? No, I don't. I don't get heartburn or anything like that. So yeah, I have found some of these towns out here when it comes to being, because like we're at this tail end of COVID where things are starting to open up out here, and they've suggested don't travel out the province until they announce that they're allowed to. So they say keep your summer travels within the province of BC. That's exactly what I'm doing. But some of these towns, it's weird though, because you go from one town, like 15 minutes down the street, come to another town, and there's a totally different vibe. Like the town that I pulled into, I don't want to tell you guys where I am because those videos are coming up. You come to one town and they were like, you have to wear masks to get in our store. But then the town 5 minutes down the street, like, it's no big deal. It's like everything's open for business. All the antique shops are open, all the corner stores are open. The town I was in yesterday had a farmer's market. And I was like, what? I was like, am I seeing things? There was a full farmer's market. And it was full of people. Like, not packed full of people. There was a sign saying keep your 2 meters apart. But there was a full-blown farmer's market yesterday. It was really cool to see. That was one of those little normal things that we haven't seen in a while. That was like weird to see. I'm like, is that really, like, seeing people sitting outside drinking beers on a patio at a pub is a weird thing to see. Like when I was leaving Vancouver, you could see that people on the patio at the bars. I'm like, what? As I say that, coronavirus starts coming out of my mouth. But it's weird to see because some towns are totally different than others. See, I know I see some of the comments in here from you guys in the USA. It's a little different for you guys down there because you're so mass populated. You know what I mean? Like you have 300 million more than us. So of course this situation was going to be worse than us. Here in BC, we've done really, really well. I get this question a lot. George asked me, hey, Jerome, what other YouTube channels do you follow? I don't really follow. My favorite YouTuber would be David Dobrik, and he's not uploading right now until all this stuff is over, but David Dobrik, Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat will always be on that list if he ever decides to upload again. But yeah, those would probably be my top three. And then Jesse. This channel is just called Jesse. I like them. I like a majority of them mainly for the creative side of it. I'm more attracted to creative, artistic, or, you know what I mean? People like that. The people that put the work into their edits. I really like that kind of stuff. But as for van life, I don't. I'll check in on everybody. Like, you know, like it's quite common that I'll check into like nomadic movement or trying a blank here of some people I check in on. Nomadic fanatic, stuff like that. But I mean, I always pop in just to make sure, see what everybody's up to once in a while. And but I'm not a regular van watcher. I find that if I watch van life content, it affects my content. Like I find if I listen to what they're saying, it'll affect on what I produce. And that's why I don't like to watch them. I'll pop in to see what everybody's doing, where they are. Kind of like seems like a friendly thing. Seems like I pop in for a visit and then I leave. But that's it. I find doing that way keeps me more creative in my own space. You know what I mean? When I don't have anything else in my van life space affecting what I'm making on YouTube. My comments popping up on my phone versus the comments on my computer, total different delay. That's funny. They're like, because I can see them popping up on my phone, and what's on here is totally different. Have I been to the Kootenays? Yes, I've did a lot filming in the Kootenays last year. That's where my tattoo guy is. He's up in the Kootenays. Do I ever think I'll build a new van? If so, what improvements would you make? Honestly, if I were to ever build another van, I would definitely do a professional van build. That's for sure. That's one thing I have learned. And I know I get this in my comments too. You guys had the same view on pro builds in a van as I did when I first started out. When I couldn't afford or even wrap my head around the thought of having this kind of stuff built in my van, I was like, I don't get it. I don't get why someone spends that kind of money in their van. And now that I have a professional build, and I have drawers that open up that are dovetailed and they feel good and they shut nicely, and things don't rattle or weird stuff, they're just solid. I think if I ever built another van, there would definitely be a professional build done, obviously, and it would go back to Happy Camper kits, hands down. But I think if I were to ever redo it, my only thing I would add to my van or change, I don't think I'd change anything. I think because I lived in a basic van for so long, like I recommend to you guys, live in something bare bones and basic, some plastic cabinets and a bed, or some home furnishing cabinets that you can move around if you need. Learn your space before you build it. And I think because I lived in this van for so long before I got a professional build, I knew what I needed, I knew why I needed it, I knew where it had to go. And that's why my space is so perfect. But the only thing I think I would add is a full-blown DJ studio. I think in a stand-up van, I would have a kitchen area with a pull-out section where all my I'd like to put my turntables back in my van and get my old DJ setup back. A nice set of studio monitors, a full recording thing, but have it all kind of tucked away and hidden, except for my speakers. So that was kind of all a built-in part of the van. You just undo the cabinets, pull the drawer out, and bam, there's my DJ gear. That's the only thing I would do different. My van is perfect. So guys, just trust me, don't overthink your van build, man. Get in it with some plastic cabinets, and your van, when you do build it, will turn out this way. You see a lot of other YouTube channels. You've seen, I'm sure you guys have watched channels where people have done van build 2.0 or made a video saying, here's what I would do differently on the next van. I've never made a video like that because there's nothing I would change because I thought about this before it went up. And that's why people that design their vans from bumper to bumper before they actually live in it, those plans usually for the most part get 50% changed because it was just a thought before they got in it. So buy your van, go throw a blanket in the back, go take off for a month in the van with a cooler and a stove and a blanket and a bin for your clothes, and go see what the van is like and get used to your space. Because you know, you don't know a space this small if you've never lived in a space this small, right? But I think if I were to ever walk into another van, I'd have a lot more freedom for better cabinets and better placements, but the bed would always go across the back. As long as it's at least 6 feet across, it will always go across the back. All right, lots of messages flew by. I didn't see any of them. My bad. All right, we're gonna scroll way back here. Let's just start grabbing one. All right, let's stop here. Time is it? It's 14 minutes ago. I'm gonna start at 10 a.m. How come I never get notifications anymore for live? I don't know. Make sure your notification bell is selected on my channel. And I do know if you have all notifications turned on lots of channels, you may not get them for every one of them. So a suggestion is to go through, clean up all your subscriptions, knock out all notification ones on the channels you don't, and only select the ones that you want, and you'll get those notifications. Because I was watching something with YouTube once, and they said, well, some people just sign up to like their 200 people, and they select notifications for all, and then they don't get notified from every single one of them. So yeah, just go through them all and kind of reweed them. Because you also might have on my channel, because when you click the notification bell, if you don't have all notifications selected and you have, you know, like it weeds out only a few of them, then they won't send you every one of them. But it's a YouTube, it's a computer, they make mistakes. Do I have a SoundCloud page? No, but I do have a page with some DJ mixes on it. It's at, hold on, let me tell you. I don't want to take this because I'm going to wreck where I am in my comments. Hearthis.at, so hear as in listen, hearthis.at/DJ Chrome. All my mixes are on there. Have you met any gamer van dwellers? Yeah, I have actually. I know quite a few van dwellers that, sorry guys, give me a sec. Sorry, hearing things out there. Hearing things outside. I thought I heard somebody call my name. I'm like, what? I'm trying to look at my, I don't see anybody. Not unless they're standing at my side door if they are. Hi. Yeah, I do know a few gamers. I know quite a few people that have like PS4s and stuff in their van. And some of them just pull up beside a business like Starbucks that they can get the connection in their van and they just game online for hours on end. I'd love it. I think that would be an addition I would do in a high top van. I would definitely probably get a small TV and probably a game system because some days a little Call of Duty would be kind of fun. I love this one. I was just watching one of your earlier videos when you left your condo. Look at you now. There's some good content back there, you guys. So if you haven't seen my earlier videos, highly suggested, especially if you're a new person to the channel and you want to get to know us, or if you want to learn about van life. My earlier videos are loaded with everything you'll ever want to know about living in a van, because my earlier videos, you guys got to experience van life every day with me and all the mistakes that I made and all the learning things that I went through, places to park and the do's and the don'ts and all the things that I learned along the way. You'll learn all that stuff back on my earlier videos. Do I think an international student in Canada should do van life? Why not? Especially if you got to rent something, it's cheaper to live in a van than it is to rent a high price place to live in the city, especially. Chrome, have I ever considered an induction cooktop? Absolutely not. I've never thought about one because of the power required to run it. They're very power hungry. Yeah, I don't mind my propane. My propane works totally just fine. I only use the 1 pound bottles on my thing, and I don't really cook that much. But those induction cooktops can be quite the power hungry unit. And as for my propane heater, I would like to get rid of it. It's not necessary for me to upgrade my heater because my Olympian Wave 3 that I have is a rock star. It works. But I would like to get rid of it because I would like to get rid of the 20 pound propane tank. After being in my van for 3 years pretty soon, that's 3 years I've had a 20 pound bomb in my van. Nothing's gone wrong, knock on every ounce of wood I have in my van. But I would really enjoy getting that cabinet space back. For one, that opens up a huge cabinet in my van. And for two, it takes out that explosion danger a little bit. But there's no technical need for it. And because if I do one, and I know a lot of you have your opinions on it, I'm buying a real heater. I'm not going to be buying the cheap China knockoff version of it. I am not. I'm going to buy the proper ones, the ones that have a track record and a history and a reliable, long-standing, you know what I mean? Like where you buy the China one, who knows what's going to happen next year? Who knows? Who knows if that thing's going to make your van blow up? But I would invest in a real one, and they're not cheap. So, and I would also invest in one that taps into my van's gas tank with no external fuel source. So I don't think I would put the diesel one in my van with a separate diesel tank. I would probably buy the S-Bar makes a fuel one for gasoline and tap it into my van's gas tank, and boom. As long as there's gas in my gas tank, my in-van dry heat source will have heat. They're a little expensive, but I've thought about it. It's definitely been a thought, but it's also, that's a really expensive purchase that's technically not really necessary quite yet. That would just be a nice upgrade. Weird question. Neck tattoos. I'd get a neck tattoo. I wouldn't care. You know, and like, Betty Bobetti, is that Betty Bobetti? Tattoos. Am I pro neck tattoos or against it? I don't think anybody should have their opinion. It's not your body at the end of the day. If I was pro or against it, on me, heck yeah, I'd do it. I don't know if I'd do it. Come on, my hands are done. What's the difference if I just get the rest of it done too? Yeah, tattoos, it's all good. I never thought I would get my hands done, ever. This one just is how my name is Chrome. This arm's not finished yet. And this one's my memorial for Disco, the bulldog I had for CRUZ. Okay? Little buddy. Sorry, guys, I scrolled way back. Some of these questions are throwing me off. Because I'm like, hold on, I talked about that already. I'm like, oh. I'm looking back at 10:05 a.m. right now at some of those questions. So a lot of people have been asking things, and I see this quite a bit, about that they have to have a high top in their van, that is mandatory, so they can't start van life until then. Well, you get what you can. Like, I got what I got. If I would have waited to get a high top van when I could afford it, I would have never started van life. I probably wouldn't have. You know what I mean? I took the opportunity when the opportunity arose, and I jumped on it, and here I am, and I'm glad I did. If I would have waited and spent another 2 more years paying rent until I could afford a high top, I'd have never started this. So, like, the high top's never really a deal breaker. Up north of 60, what's up, brother? Have a cold beer on me. Stay safe out there. Hey, guys, go subscribe to that one. Up north of 60. He's up in the Northwest Territories, where it's like they got polar bears and they live in igloos and stuff up there. He's way up there. He's got a nature and survival channel. Just a good dude. Up north of 60, thank you for that. Much appreciated. What? Do I think 60 years old is too old to start van life? Are you kidding? 60's nothing. Sure, maybe when my mom's age group back there, when 60 was starting to get old. Nowadays, people are living till like 100. 60 ain't nothing. 60's like the new 30. All right? It's true, man. Have you seen the ages of people lately? People are like living to like 100, 105 and shit. What? You know, back in the day, I always thought everybody died at 65. I did when I was a kid. I thought that was when you died, was 65. But yeah, people are living old nowadays. 60 is definitely not too old to start van life. I've met people like 75 years old that are bouncing around like no tomorrow, living in their vans, having a great time. Yeah. The way I see it, as long as they allow you to have a driver's license, you're good to go. See, Kathleen just said 71 here. Heck yes. I've met more people along my van life journey that live in their vans or their RVs, and they start telling me about their stories, and they're like, yeah, I'm 83. I'm like, you're not 83. And they're like, yeah, I'm 83. I turned 83 like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, no way, you're 83. I was thinking like 65. Like, oh, thank you. It's crazy. Like, the people nowadays are living more vibrantly. I don't know what it is, but they're just, it's amazing. I've seen a lot of people out here in their older years just rocking it, having the time of their lives. I met a couple the other day. I shared their story a little bit in a video I recorded. Couple that were in a little tiny SUV. They woke up, old couple, probably 80, maybe something like that. Big smiles on their faces. The guy was like, I slept in that last night. Like, awesome, man. He's like, best sleep of my life. They were just out there, been on a couple week road trip, and they were living in a tiny little SUV. It was pretty rad. They folded the seats down. He goes, we're curled up back here, but him and his wife were so happy. Yeah, age doesn't mean a damn thing. That's a cool thing to say. Angelina says, I don't think you appreciate van life until you're over 60. Let's hope. Because could you imagine this journey that I've been on get better when I turn 60? I'm 40. How old am I? 45? 45, I think. I want to say 44, turning 45, but I think I'm 45. I don't know. You're on my phone, so I don't know. I was born, you figured out, I was born August 16th, 1974. So if I got like another stack of years left before I turn 60 and van life gets better, I'm in for that, man. I don't mind if van life gets better with age. Are you kidding me? I'd be super stoked. I don't see myself stopping this lifestyle, though. I don't see myself getting a sticks and bricks. I don't see myself buying property anytime soon to build a home base. It's been on my thoughts a few times, but no, no. See, van travel sunshine. I met that vibrant, bouncing around lady at my meetup in Vancouver. She's from the USA. She's 69 years old. Van travel sunshine, good on you. See, I love that stuff. You know, you meet somebody who's like not even close to slowing down. And you're 69, that's a beautiful thing. Love it. Pop Art Diva. I am 70 in a wheelchair. I'm hunting for a handicap van with a lift to convert. If there's a will, there's a way. There's nothing more beautiful than that little sentence right there. And everybody needs to think that way. 70 years old and in a wheelchair should never hold you back. Definitely not holding back Pop Art Diva. Find a wheelchair van, convert it, boom. I love that, man. Thanks for that. Thanks for that comment on there. That was a good one. People need to learn from people like that. You know, like when you're 7 years old and you're still like, it's not gonna let this hold me back. Let's do it. I love that stuff. Trying to read up on some of these. That's the boring part about watching a live stream, is me reading comments. This is why I like to talk a lot. This is why I don't read everybody's message, because if I did, you guys would be staring at the top of my head all day while I'm sitting here reading comments. Have you ever considered... says Chrome, I know you don't have any plans on coming to the USA anytime soon, but have you ever considered participating in the Van Build event or the RTR? I have no interest in the RTR. The Van Build's very interesting. I'd be more interested in that than going to the RTR. The RTR is just, but the shouldn't be called the RTR. But a lot of people aren't going down there for Bob Wells's chat. They're just going to hang out together, which is always never a part of the RTR. That's always parked beside the RTR. But yeah, so far I don't really have much of an interest in that kind of stuff. The van build thing is really cool. I love the whole aspect about it. That to me is more interesting than the RTR. I love that. High top because my back hurts. I get that. One thing you will notice too when you're living in a small van is that when you get outside, you always got that stretch. I never did that before, but then I probably did that every time I got up off my studio desk. So it's probably the same thing when I was in my condo. But yeah, I used to get up and I'm like, oh, geez, things are kind of stiff. But I do find sometimes when you're in the van a lot that my legs really kind of do need a good stretching, because you go from sitting here to kneeling on the floor to make food, so your legs don't normally get stretched right out a lot. But that's why I spend a lot of time outside of the van. Like if you're a homebody kind of person that stays in your van all the time, then yeah, a high top out of the gate I could understand, because I wouldn't want to stay cooped up in this thing all day. I'm outside all the time. Like if it's a decent day outside today, if we weren't live streaming, I'd be outside right now. One thing about my trip that I've noticed that's hella annoying right now, back to a question someone asked me at the beginning of this live stream, is there anything about van life that we don't know that's super annoying? Yeah, right now, the freaking bugs. Holy the bugs are insane out here. When I traveled last year, I traveled coast to coast in Canada, and I ran into bugs maybe 1 or 2 days out of my whole trip. And usually up in some high mountain pass somewhere, when I get outside, go take the dog for a pee, and we got swarmed. I seem to have missed the whole bug season. Everywhere I went, the bugs were fine. We don't get mosquitoes in Vancouver like I'm getting out here. I got outside the other day and it was nuts. It was so annoying that you just couldn't go outside. What are you gonna do? They were all over the dog, they were all over the campsite, all over the van. I was like, man, this sucks. So that's one part about this all that's been really shitty out here, is that bug season. If I'm gonna go through this whole summer trip up here, at that point I'm gonna turn around and go somewhere that doesn't have as many bugs, and it's usually down towards the south side of Canada, because Vancouver, we don't get them as bad. And I'm not sure what it's like around Penticton, Kelowna, Osoyoos area. I know there's a lot of bugs down there. That's where I hit bugs the first time. I wish there was a map. Go online, like, not there today. Heck no. But yeah, that's been a really, really shitty part. If the opportunity arose, would I ever buy a Class B? Absolutely not. No, I'm not. I don't like the look of, this is personal preference. I don't like the look of an RV. I don't like it. And a Class B is an RV. I don't like the body style, the appearance, the look, not my thing. You know what I mean? I would rather build my own. I would rather buy a brand new all-wheel drive Transit and build that out. You know what I mean? I would never buy an RV. You know, even if I did, I wouldn't want the inside. The inside would have to be 100% gutted. I would have no interest in no RV build. I wouldn't be. I don't like the layouts of them. They're built for a weekender, not really built for a full-timer. And I think I would get more frustrated with all the space and how the booth is made and all this other stuff. Yeah, Class B's aren't for me. There's a different breed that enjoys the Class B versus someone who would rather customize their own van from top to bottom and have a say in every aspect of it. And that's more my kind of thing, right? And I wouldn't want to buy one and then gut it and then rebuild it anyway. So I like them. I know some friends that have some pretty nice Class Bs. Like, I've run into a few people that driven. I'm like, what? They open up the door and they fully customize the inside. It's beautiful. I just don't like the outside look. And I've seen some 4x4 Class Bs, which were just badass off-road things. I just don't like the body on them. They're just too big. I don't hate them though. Don't take me wrong that way. It's not my thing. Deserts don't have mosquitoes, and that's why my thought, if it gets bad, I'm just gonna head back down to the Okanagan and hang out down there where it's more desert and airy like. It's been bad out here, man, like horrible. CRUZ is still sleeping in the front seat. He hasn't woken up this morning yet, and it's 10:30. He got out of bed, and I came down here to grab coffee, and he went and sat in the front seat. He's been in the front seat ever since. Oh! Where is he? I think he's on the passenger seat, and I don't see him. Oh, man, you guys. I think we're done, man. How long have we been on here for? Is there a running time on this chat? I'm streaming on my cell phone, and I normally don't do this, so... Oh, hold on, a comment just came up on here. I know they're on a weird delay. Danielle just said, mosquito netting is my friend. That's where things get unenjoyable for me. I don't want to set up camp somewhere and put nets around me because, I'd rather be outside, you know what I mean? And even if you put nets around, it's great, but then you're still in a box. It doesn't sound very exciting for me. So, like, I wish I had another summer like last year where I magically avoided all the bugs. People asked me that a lot last year. People were like, hey, how come there's no bugs? How come you haven't put up your bug screens just about all summer? I'm like, because I haven't seen bugs all summer. Now, my bug screens, I've been putting them up like every day. And I don't like to leave them up because it's really annoying to climb in my van and always have to move the curtain around and then have to move it around and CRUZ's leg gets stuck on it. So I usually take them down every day because mine have clips that go around them, like little snap button clips. If I were to ever build screens for my next fan, they would definitely just be magnets on the outside, and that's it. Having the snap buttons, they look great, but having the snap buttons when you need the bug screens all the time are pretty annoying. They do work on my van. My buddy Joseph built mine. They work great. They keep the bugs out. It's great. I just think I would do the outside of the magnets on the next fan, that's for sure. Someone asked a question, roof racks for high roofs. You can put roof racks on high roofs. If you did the aftermarket high top with the fiberglass one, I know Illumin makes a nice one for those ones that bolts right onto the fiberglass through the inside. Yeah, you can get high tops and stuff you can get roof racks, and a lot of the newer vans have roof rack tracks, so the roofs are already set up to rack tracks to. You don't have to do like mine where it mounts on the outside gutter. Roger, thank you for the super chat. I love that. Yeah, this is so good today, man. Let me tell you, super chats are great. Why is Joseph in such a small van? Because that's what Joseph can afford. And, you know, if you look at situations where if you wait to get into the van you want, or you just do like Joseph did, buy a $2,500 van and start. He bought the minivan because that's what he could afford. Sure, would he like something else? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure when life changes and money gets better, he will get into something bigger and better. But you know what? He got into what he could afford. And he's not a small dude. And he sleeps in that minivan and he's happy, happy, happy. But that's the thing. You just got to get into whatever you can afford. We have crazy mosquitoes right now in Prince George. Great. Thanks for telling me. You're getting close. Northern BC will be bad too at this time of year. Yeah, Leanne, that's where I'm heading. I am heading up that way. I actually want to pick up a few things at a music store in Prince George while I'm in town. That's the crappy thing, man. Even yesterday, I was at a point where I'm like, I'm going to turn around, man. If I keep not enjoying being outside, I'm going to turn around. You know, I had this funny thought the other day too. A lot of people are snowbirds. So they travel in one area and then they move during the temperatures. So when it gets cold somewhere, they go somewhere warm. Well, I'm a bug bird. That's what I felt like. I'm just going to be a bug bird. Forget the snowbird thing. I'm gonna be a bug bird. If there's bugs, I'm out. If there's bugs, I'm out. I'm go somewhere. I'm go. There's no bugs. I'm gonna stay here and enjoy my time. And then when there's bugs, I'm out. Oh man, that was just. It was so annoying. Because it was such a beautiful spot I found too, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Sit outside, edit some videos, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy a beer. All of a sudden, they were all over me. CRUZ was just, they were all over CRUZ, and that's where I drew the limit. I'm like, all right, back in the van. And I bought bug spray the other day. We did a little test on CRUZ to make sure he's not allergic to it, because when he was a puppy, he had a bad allergic reaction when he was a puppy. And we had to take him to the vet. He had green stuff coming out of his nose, and he was hacked. He actually had a lot. It sounded like maybe his throat was congesting. I don't know. He went straight to the vet. We took him to the vet in Banff, Alberta. And yeah, it turned out to be an allergic reaction to the bug spray. So I bought bug spray yesterday. I did some sample sprays, no problems at all. And today I'm going to try it again a little more and just kind of see. It could have just been a weird allergy as he was a puppy, right? Because puppies do that. Like CRUZ had a really bad reaction to chicken flavored puppy food. His body got hot spots and he just didn't react well to it. And that was just a puppy thing, because now he eats the stuff and he's had no problems at all. So I'm hoping that was just a little phase when he was a puppy. Citronella candles, I do have them, but when you have like 5,000 mosquitoes around you, those citronella candles are shit. I sat there, I'm like, all right, so I went and grabbed my candles. I have 8 citronella candles. I put them all over the place. And I didn't care. Those little buggers were hungry. And I think that's the difference between mosquitoes in the woods versus mosquitoes in the city, is the ones in the woods haven't seen a human being in a while. They're hungry and they come by the masses. Bug bird, that would make you a mosquito. You guys are funny, man. Ricky says you can make your own jackery. Then make your own jackery. Not all of us are that little handy or care to be that handy. I know lots of people kept emailing me, why don't I build myself my own lithium-ion battery pack? Because that's not me. I'm not one to do that kind of stuff. Those things are for those kind of people. Not everybody is one to do that. Did you know mosquitoes prefer beer drinkers? Shit. I'm screwed then. Fine, I'm gonna stop drinking beer. Let's see if they're like tequila drinkers. I got lots of tequila in my van. I think there's 4 bottles or 5 bottles of tequila in my van right now. I actually bought this bug spray yesterday and it smelled really, really, really good. I bought a couple different ones just in case CRUZ was allergic to one and not the other. So I bought this off family bug spray and it smells like, I didn't shower yesterday, so it smells like a perfume. It's really nice. I'm like, what the heck? This is bug spray? But yeah, so far CRUZ hasn't had a reaction to the first one. So, and that was the nice smelling one. Holly, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey Chrome, when you're ready to go, send us off with a what's up, weirdos. I love that. Thank you, Holly. That was much appreciated. The Wayward Kinder, enjoying your vids, and Patreon as always. Thank you for the super chat. Would love you to give us a tour of your tattoos, maybe a future video. If not now, tour my tattoos. All right, my feet, the tops of both of my feet have the same tribal little thing. That's my feet. And my hand, it says Disco Forever with my other bulldog's time of death, 2:35 a.m. is when he died. That's a memorial to my little homie. And then my arm has no meaning at all. Zero. This one was done like 20 years ago. It's no meaning at all, and it's just a mishmash of a bunch of, I don't know what it is. I just had some kid draw it up, and I'm like, yeah, man, do it. There's like 5 girls on it, some skulls and some flowers and some really cheesy artwork. Yeah, no meaning at all in this arm, zero. This arm, on the other hand, it's got a little bit more meaning. This one's not done yet either. So, I'll pull this back. Ugh. Up here's got a graffiti girl. Her face and stuff is just outlined. It's not been finished being filled in yet. Yeah, she's got a respirator on and a can of spray paint. There's a rose back there. It's not done. Yeah, inside here is the Monte Carlo logo. You know, the car, the Monte Carlo. Big fan. That's the Monte Carlo logo because I used to have a fully custom lowrider car that was a major part of my life. So the Monte Carlo logo went on there. Down here is just some more aerosol graffiti cans. This isn't finished yet either. Then, of course, my Weirdos Unite. And then just a bunch of filler stuff. And we still got a few more pieces to add into here whenever we get back into doing some more tattoo work. And then, yeah, and then my little name tag. This is, hello, my name is Chrome in graffiti writing. That's it. This is the only tattoo I have with meaning, this one. I've never walked into a tattoo place and said, hey, I need something one time, this one. But I was never going in going, okay, so I want this, and I want this, and I want this because it means this. No, I just went in there, I'm like, yo, dude, draw me something. He's like, what? Draw me something. He started to sketch us. I'm like, yeah, that'll do it at the top. Just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. That's the logo to my old car. I used to be in a car club called Unity. That's just the Unity logo. But that's it. Even that doesn't have any meaning. Not anymore anyway. But I literally just went in there. I'm like, yo, dude, draw me something. He's like, cool. And you see my lowrider car parked outside, the little Unity plaque on the back of it. He's like, all right, I'll get you something. I'm like, do it. And then when I went in to see this guy, I'm like, look, dude, graffiti, and I want Weirdos Unite on my arm. He's like, and that's what he came up with. That's his whole arm. This is the only one I thought about. First off, I went in and got the 2:35 a.m. on there. And I got this one done like literally like 2 days after or day after Disco passed away was that one. And then when I went to Bad Tattoo Brewing in Penticton, they introduced me to a tattoo artist, which did the rest of it. There's my tour of my tattoos. My feet ones were my very first tattoos that I ever got. Someone just said no weirdo tat. What do you think that says? Weirdos Unite. All right, I'm missing some things in the comments here. Someone said the Mercedes Sprinter is so expensive. Everybody I know that owns a Sprinter loves their Sprinter. It's one thing I can tell you that. Some people always have their opinions on different brands and they hear things are expensive. But when it comes down to it, it's not so bad. You guys see me? Okay. I'm trying to adjust the camera here a little bit. So my van needs to be serviced every 5,000 kilometers. Every 5,000 kilometers, my van needs an oil change. And a Sprinter van, I think, is every 30,000 kilometers or 1 year. So if you're driving less than 30,000 kilometers, you have to get 1 oil change per year, which is crazy. Where my van, I need one every 5,000 K, which means I probably do 4 or 5 oil changes a year. 3, 4, 5, depending on what you drive, right? So technically it costs the same to service, like your regular usual service, a Sprinter than it does my van. Sure, the repairs are more expensive when those times come, but everybody I know that's got them absolutely loves their Mercedes. See here, even people in my comments right now, people are strong opinionated on certain brands. And I don't understand that. Here's why I don't understand it. Why I don't understand that people are so highly opinionated on vehicles that they've never owned. They've never owned one to truly know. They just go by, oh, well, Johnny on this forum said. Who cares what Johnny said? If you've never owned one, you can't form your own dead opinion on it until you've actually owned it. You know what I mean? I've learned that in my life about a lot of things in life, man. You can't form your opinion on it until you've been there, done that, and know what it's actually like. So you don't need to go that often. I have an E series, yeah, but I change mine every 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers. So I have full synthetic oil in my van, so it can go longer. But because my van is a little older, I take care of my van. I have no problems changing my oil every 5,000 to 6,000 K. I don't even care. It's a small price to pay to know that my engine has clean lubrication inside of it. No problems. It's just a small, you know what I mean? Like, you know, years ago in my life, it'd be a different story, but because my van's my home, I'm pretty meticulous with it. I think the longest I've dragged it out is 8,000 kilometers, because with full synthetic, you can get a longer life out of it. But I'm on track with all that stuff all the time. I've had some people tell me that they do their Ford E series every 10,000 K. I won't do that. It's a personal thing. Do I ever fish? Carlo, no, actually, I bought a fishing rod once, and I used to go out and tried to go fishing a few times. Just wasn't for me. But I did stay at a lake that's coming in an upcoming video where there was so many fish jumping. It was ridiculous. It made me wish that I still had my fishing rod. And I think my fishing license has expired too, because I got a fishing license when I got my fishing rod, and I think that's expired as well too. But that's the first time I ever thought about getting a fishing rod, is actually the beginning of this trip. There's been a few spots where there's been like clearly some pretty good fishing. How many kilometers do I have in my van? My van right now has 250,000 kilometers. Somewhere in that range, 250,000 K. I bought my van just about 3 years ago at 165,000 kilometers. Oh, I'm from Norway, holy crap. It's cool when I know that you see that people watch my channel from that far away. That's insane. Oh, anyway, you guys, I'm done talking. I gotta go out and start my video for today. I haven't started any video, so we gotta go out and do something here today and get out of my van. It's like what? It's about 11 o'clock a.m. here where I am, and it'd be nice to go start this and go outside and enjoy this weather. It seems pretty nice out there. It's actually getting a little warm in here. Before we let you go, I want to thank everybody for all their super chats. I love you guys. And if you guys want to know where we are and what we're doing in real time, come over and join us on Patreon. They know everything. They know where I am today. And also, or click the join button down below for YouTube memberships. It's like Patreon, but they don't have as many features. YouTube memberships is cool. It's a great way to support us, but they don't get as many. Hard to explain. It's like Patreon, but without the fancy things. Patreon allows me to put up little mini video clips and stuff. YouTube membership doesn't. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to keep up with my travels in real time, because now I looked at my computer today. Hold on, let's find it here. Looked at my computer today. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys are 7 days behind me. By the time I edit this last video, you guys will be a week behind us. So I'm coming over there at least to keep you guys in real time and know what's going on with us. And that's pretty much the cool thing about those places. I really enjoy what we do and like to see what we're doing in real time. That's a great place for it. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys pressing play every day. Thank you to everybody who super chatted this video or sent us those what do they call them, super stickers. Anyway, thanks for all the support here, and thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. I can't believe there's still 527 people watching this right now. That's insane. All right, we've been streaming for 104 minutes. 105 minutes. I was like, Chrome, just turn on the camera. Let's just do a quick 1 hour and be done, and we can start our day. But anyway, guys, my chat shut down. My laptop is now shut, and we're gonna say bye to you guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. The adventures start to get fun. Let me tell you, we've had some fun times over the last few days. Super excited. Okay, I'm gonna hit this off button. Bye, guys.